What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another New York Giants video. It's great to be back on YouTube, streaming New York Giants short videos for the fans and the audience. We have a little bit to dive into today. Again, this is the dead part of the offseason. There's not much going on. We've had OTAs, we've had rookie minicamp. There has been a lot happening internally, but not a lot to really report on. Not many moves. And today there was some news that I thought was worth noting, talking about, and I wanted to show face and hop on. And folks, we appreciate all the support for Big Blue Avenue as of late. Make sure to go check us out on all of our social media platforms. You can see on our ticker below. I'll have that hanging up for just a moment. And the Giants had an interesting rookie minicamp. They spoke with assistant coaches and offensive and defensive coordinator Mike Kafka and Wink Martindale, respectively. Wink Martindale was giving the Giants offense fits in OTAs, and Mike Kafka, it seems like there's going to be a Kansas City flavor to the Giants offense, even though Brian Dable, Shea Tierney, Bobby Johnson all coming over from Buffalo. And it's been interesting. We've seen Shane Lemieux work his way back from the injury, playing with the starting unit of the offensive line right now. We've seen rookie tackle Evan Neal coming into his own. And we've seen Daniel Jones look good. He looks bigger. He looks buff. He is one of the hardest workers on this team, if not the hardest. And there's a lot of positive stuff right now. And I think Barkley is even more healthy now than he was last year, which is also a great, great sign, to the point where you can get vintage signs of old Barkley. Now, I'm not going to talk about those players today. I want to talk about a couple of roster transactions and a couple of the rookies. First and foremost, the Giants worked out 4 players this week, and they wound up signing one of them to an already, I wouldn't say crowded, but a deep wide receiver room, and that's Keelan Doss. The Giants signed wide receiver Keelan Doss, 6'3", 215-pound guy, 26 years old. He signed as an undrafted free agent by the Las Vegas Raiders back in 2019 out of UC Davis. He was projected to go in the middle of day 3, but he wound up undrafted. He also had brief stints with the Jaguars, Falcons, and Jets. In 9 career games, Doss has 11 catches for 133 yards and no touchdowns. In college, though, he was a great possession receiver, a guy who can take the top off a defense, set school records and touchdowns and all-purpose yards. So Keelan Doss gets added to a deep receiver room that includes names of Robert Foster, C.J. Board, David Sills, all guys fighting for roster spots on the back end of the roster. And we know one may open up with a Sterling Shepard injury if he, is not able to play for a significant portion of the 2022 season. But quite frankly, Keelan Doss, in my opinion, is just a camp body to provide some more competition. Now, to make room for Keelan Doss, the Giants had to waive a 2020 draft pick, a familiar name to most, linebacker T.J. Brunson. He was a 7th-round pick out of South Carolina in the 2020 draft. That was the year I think the Giants had 4 7th-round picks, something like that. They went ahead and they took Carter Coughlin, Chris Williamson, T.J. Brunson, and Tay Crowder. Coughlin and Crowder are the only 7th-round picks left from that draft on the roster currently. And Brunson, again, in 2020, he didn't play much, just 5 career games, had 3 tackles, didn't really suit up until December of that season anyway. And what really hurt him was last year he tore his ACL in the preseason game against the Jets, so he sat out all of 2021. So again, new regime, new guy in charge. You become expendable, especially if you're not available early on in the process. A guy who, fortunately, looked like he had some promise, but was unable to get the opportunity to prove himself to the New York Football Giants. And I wish T.J. Brunson nothing but the best. But there is some other news regarding the Giants, and I think this is going to be very interesting, the tight end room. So right now there's 3 unsigned draft picks, and they're all going to sign eventually. But it's Daniel Bellinger, the tight end, the safety Dane Belton, and wide receiver Wan'Dale Robinson. So the Giants 2 4th-round picks and their 2nd-round pick. So Daniel Bellinger has been very impressive so far in OTAs rookie minicamp, he was solid. A lot of people have high hopes on this guy. A lot of people think he was underutilized at San Diego State, and I think he could be a good, impressive player on this Giants roster come 2022. In fact, I think he might be the starting tight end in 2022 from week one. If he's already getting first team reps, that tells you something before training camp is even come about. And granted, the Giants don't have much in their tight end room. As of right now, it looks like the Giants are going Daniel Bellinger, followed by Jordan Akins, and then it looks like Ricky Seals-Jones and undrafted free agent Austin Allen will be fighting for the third tight end spot on the Giants roster. Now, we don't know how many tight ends they're going to carry, but the Giants also worked out tight end Steven Carlson this past week as well, former Cleveland Brown, the guy who has dealt with some injuries early on in his career. But I like Daniel Bellinger a lot. Does not drop any passes. He's not going to blow you away with athleticism. He's not very athletic, but he's got quick feet for a guy his size, and he's a blocking tight end who can catch the football. That's what we need. That's your prototypical tight end. Not somebody that could, make flashy plays and play like a wide receiver, but have stone hands like we had the past 5 seasons. Moving on to the safety, Dane Belton. I think this could be a juggernaut for the Giants defensively. Again, you look at the Giants safety room, it's not really weak, but it's thin, right? You have Xavier McKinney, Julian Love, who's entering a contract year. They're slated to be the 2 starters. And after that, there's really nobody. I think they signed Henry Black from the Packers. He might make the roster. And then the door's open for Dane Belton to get some snaps. Again, Wink Martindale prides himself in a strong secondary so that he can blitzkrieg the offense. But Dane Belton is a very, very, very impressive player. He led Iowa last year in interceptions, and he was very, very, very good in his 4 years there. And then third player, Wan'Dale Robinson. Again, a lot of people talk about him being a gadget type of player, but I keep trying to mention to people that he's not Kadarius Toney because he's not. Giants will be using him at running back, at wide receiver. He's a very diversified athlete. And I think eventually when Toney gets healthy, which that's still a concern, of course, you're going to see Toney shift more to the outside and still play some slot. But I think you're going to see Toney learn some more boundary as well in year number 2. He didn't really have that opportunity last year due to the fact that he was hurt and the fact that the veteran receivers on the roster were hurt as well in Kenny Golladay and Sterling Shepard. So it'll be interesting to see where Wan'Dale Robinson fits in this wide receiver room. Because right now you're looking at the Giants receivers, Toney and Golladay are probably the top 2. Shepard would be third, but in my honest opinion, he's not going to play at least the first month of the season, in my opinion. Then you're looking at Wan'Dale Robinson, and then you're probably looking at Darius Slayton or C.J. Board, something like that, or even David Sills. I know a lot of people like David Sills. He's still with the Giants. Daniel Jones loves him. He's a hard worker. He hates missing reps, and he's a guy who can make this roster, but is the NFL skill set there for him? That's what I'm not so sure about. I think Wan'Dale Robinson has the NFL skill set to be a great player in this football league and for the Giants, and I think he is a weapon that's going to definitely benefit the quarterback under center in Daniel Jones. Folks, want to quickly remind you all to check out our sponsor, BetUS, America's #1 favorite sports book. You can sign up with our promo code there at JOIN125. Again, that is JOIN125. You can get all live and fast bets with live payouts. You can bet on the go, anywhere, anytime. That is BetUS, where the game begins. So the main talking points of this video here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, the Giants signing wide receiver Keelan Doss, waiving linebacker TJ Brunson, talking about some of the rookies and OTAs are officially over. Also, mandatory mini camp as well. I think Dable canceled the last day. So it'll be interesting to see how things resume from here, right? Because 3-day mini camp is over. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens post mini camp, post OTAs. I'm very excited. We're almost in mid-June, and preseason is about 2 months away. So, folks, again, if you like what you watch, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Give us a little thumbs up. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's go Big Blue.